What up, world? Hello there. I've been a little bit aloof lately, it seems, but I thought to say hello tonight. I am so jacked up on sugar right now. Found out Mountain Dew and s'mores not a good combo. I am like sky high. um, yeah, I am doing really great, which is crazy because I went from like super great this morning and afternoon to hitting a weird point, and I just skydived like straight down, hit the bottom of the pit, couldn't get out. Thankfully, I'm blessed with people that plucked me right out and tossed me into the fire, you know? So, my small group and amazing people, and just so blessed, and just totally turned my world back up right. Because I'm a kingdom child, you know? And through that, there was something really awesome that the Lord showed me. Um, yeah, something really, really cool. Um, it was crazy because, like, I'm in this deep, dark area, total, kind of lost section, and I'm trying to self soothe, I'm curled up in my bed, I'm listening to worship music, I'm eating junk food. Not that I'm a person that, self soothes through food and eats a bunch of chocolate and stuff like that. No. But comfort foods, I do tend to turn to, and I don't drink pop much, so I did have a little bit of caffeine. If Mountain Dew has caffeine, if it does not, well, I found out it does. And it's more just for special treat, you know? So it wasn't like I was training to bad habits per se, but I was really giving myself a comfort section, and I really wasn't trying to muck myself out of the mire, if you want to say that word. So, yeah, I am here now. I am on sky high sugar high. I am on sky high Jesus high. I am so, so fired up for him, especially because he spoke something so powerful to my heart today that was just like, bam, there it was. So it's crazy that, there's something you desperately need. You don't know you need it until someone tells you, go out there and go get it. You go out there and go get it, and Jesus is like, there you go. It sometimes takes a chain reaction, chain effect of people to lead you that direction of where you need to go. But I really needed that tonight. And it was just a simple message of Romans 6. Definitely read it. It's amazing. I think it was 1 to 15. And it was kind of hard for me to process fully what it meant. Talking about sin, I'm like, I don't really deal with that anymore. That's all gone. That's all in the past. Well, talk about a Lord check. He checked me right there. And he's like, actually, no, daughter, you're still sitting in that. I'm just like, what? Like, I put all that away. I don't deal with that. And the Lord's like, actually, what happened today? And I'm like, I don't know. I had a really weird instance. Someone stopped me, asked for some money, and I freaked. That's the easiest way of saying it. And no idea why. And then next thing I know, I'm just overwhelmed. I'm shaken. I'm overwhelmed. I'm shut down. I'm crying. I'm emotional. I'm starting to go back into my past for no reason. Like, none of it even relates. It was just a guy on, having bad luck. That's all it was. I mean, it was just a guy having bad luck, and all of a sudden, bam, I'm straight down. And there's no call, no reason. There's nothing there that should have caused a trigger. I mean, I'm living the kingdom out. I'm doing difference. I'm changing my heart. I'm changing my mind. I'm working to really get out there and really serve and really live for Jesus. I'm a kingdom child. That's what I'm supposed to do. But something today just pulled the brake, and I couldn't live out the kingdom. And that really bothered me. So maybe that's what triggered it, was just the fact that I was thrown off guard, and then I couldn't reset, and then I couldn't fulfill the kingdom. I didn't hear Jesus. I didn't hear anything at that point. I was just on plain freak out mode, which is not a good place to be. So thankfully I was pulled right out and thrown into the fire, and I needed that fire rush. Super, super awesome. Jesus is so good. But really the lesson that Jesus told me was, you may think you're done with the past and that, but you've carried the past with you all your life. And it's time to let it go. So I talked to Jesus about it. Well, I didn't talk to him. He talked to me. That's the way it works. It's a signal down here to me. And then I kind of like chatter back a little bit, and it's just a phone line back and forth kind of thing. It's an invisible phone line. And the Lord really hit me hard with this message of triggers don't have to own me. Triggers don't have to own you. Like, wow. That's a given, right? No. Not for me, because accordingly, my life of so many triggers, like, I don't know, you have 1,000 or more, you know? I go out a day and I'm faced with 20 million different triggers. My dog used to be a service dog. That way she could alert me to anything that could trigger me. She was specifically trained, I specifically trained her to alert me to every passing person. I specifically trained her to locate someone before I would locate them. So I would not be surprised. I would know exactly who's around me. I would be aware to sounds. It's not hard to train a dog really to do that. You just take a natural response of a perked head and raised ears and you just tag a name to it. There you go. Your dog now can alert you to everything. And I still do that. It's just a natural response because I don't like to be surprised. Like, I like surprises, but like, I don't like to be surprised. You know, if I'm walking in my mind and lost my thoughts, I don't want someone to be just, hey, and I'm just like, whoa, and then my whole day's ruined. Sad fact, but it is. But I don't want to live that way. So I trained my dog on every single thing that she possibly could to alert me and warn me of someone nearby. She was trained. If there was a crack in the sidewalk, you know, like, I mean, that sounds crazy, but that's honestly like how I lived. I was so full of triggers that I couldn't enter a grocery store without having my dog. If I didn't have my dog, oh my word, end of the world happened. I couldn't go to the grocery store. I couldn't walk down that aisle because people are staring at me. What if I fall? What if? And there's a long list of what ifs. Well, that is not living. That is surviving, friends and family world. You might, now, if you have a really serious medical, and you need a service dog, okay, I get it. If you struggle with depression, anxiety, okay, I get it. You know, there's mental health disorders. I'm not disowning those, not at all. But the way I was living in a trigger zone. I was living in a war zone. A war zone that I had created myself through all my past experiences and putting names to it. So before any type of grenade or anything could go near me, my dog would alert me. And I'd be safe. I could get to the safe zone. I could get on the floor. I could hold on to something. You know, the world wouldn't just tilt and I'd fall. Well, it did still happen. My dog is only so good, you know. She's still a dog. She's not superhuman or super dog, you know, not super canine. But, you know, I thought that if I prepared myself, I would be okay. It's not true. Now I've received miraculous healing and my world is so much better. The Lord helped me through a lot of things, but triggers don't have to own me. Like, wow. They don't have to own me. I don't have to live in a war zone. I don't have to avoid large crowded places because I'm going to get triggered probably. Something's going to happen there. It's loud. It's crowded. Ooh, that's not a good situation for me. It's busy. It's really not organized. Ooh, that's not a good situation for me. So I avoid those places. Concerts? No. Movie theaters? Yes. But if it's crowded and noisy, where do I end up going? Manager, can I get a different room? How many times have I done that? True fact. I've learned how to deflect before I even react. So I've really learned how to hide and kind of crawl in the dirt in a sense to avoid triggering anything. So if like there's these crosswires, you know, like if you're in a place that has an alarm system, that's basically what my life is. I'm basically down there crawling underneath all these wires every day to avoid all these triggers. And someone called me out once. Good on them. They needed to. But they're just like, I don't, you know, why does you need to have to label something triggers? It was something like that anyways. But it was just the fact of, summarizing it basically, the conversation was just the fact of, you know, they didn't really understand what triggers were. They didn't really understand why I needed that warning system. I lived by that warning system. I put so many different ways on how to warn myself with that warning system without even giving myself a chance. And then today a situation happens that I didn't even see and bam, I'm down. My dog kind of warned me of that, and she was in the car. She's retired now. But she didn't warn me of that. I mean, that wasn't her skill set. You know, she just didn't go, oh, there's a warning system going on, you know. I had to learn for myself, and through that, triggers don't have to own me. Like, could God say a more beautiful word than that? Like, I don't have to live in a war zone. I'm a kingdom child. I'm not just a trauma child. I'm a kingdom child. That's awesome, you know? And, like, the other thing I really loved tonight that they spoke was the fact that I don't have to be derailed. It goes twofold within that, you know? Like, I don't have to be derailed. I can live right now, right here, in a war zone, and my train can keep on chugging through, you know, full speed ahead. It does not have to be derailed because all of a sudden there's a cow in the middle of the road. Sound as silly as it is, but honestly, if there's a cow in the middle of the road, it's not a good idea for a train to, you know, a train's gonna have to brake. But what God's saying is that cow is not gonna affect my train keep going straight, you know? I'm gonna have enough momentum with Jesus that I'm gonna go right through that, and I'm not gonna, I mean, I might have beef tonight if that's a cow, but you know what I'm saying though, like, my life doesn't have to stop just because there's a cow in the middle of my tracks, you know, or a bison or whatever. We're just gonna start having a, you know, a barbecue. Let's have to start having a barbecue, you know, we're gonna go right through it. Vegetarian humor right there because I don't eat meat. But for all you meat lovers, there you go, we're gonna have barbecues. But same thing, like if there's a carrot in the road. Sauteed carrots, anyone? So, like, yeah, my life doesn't have to stop just because there's something in the middle of my tracks. My train does not need to be derailed. I don't need to be derailed. And I don't need 20 million warning systems or my dog going person, 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 person every 5 minutes every time I want to walk. I need to learn how to let go of those security systems and simply be like, okay, Jesus, I take your hand. I'm all yours. Walk me, you know? I'm just so excited to see what he's going to do with this. But that's just an amazing thought. Like, it's so simple. But for someone struggling with mental health issues and someone struggling with depression and anxiety as I do, and like as many triggers as I have or have created, because it is a lie from the enemy, being afraid, shame, sin, all that, those mental things that go off, warning bells in your head, that's not Jesus saying, I love you. That's the enemy saying, warning, warning, warning. Not Jesus. So we definitely need to address those. We definitely need to call out those lies and declare Jesus over them. And I don't know how it looks, and I don't know what that's like. I've just gotten this revelation tonight, and I'm so excited to share with you all because, oh my word, we don't have to live in sin. Oh my word, we don't have to live crawling underneath all the security wires the rest of our lives. Jesus is like, those wires, you can walk on water. If you can walk on water through faith, you can walk right through those warning systems on faith. I'm just so excited because I've lived my life so afraid of so many things. Like, so many things I've missed out on because I've been so afraid. Like, it's crazy to think, but my life was run so much. I'm sorry. My thing went on. But I've run my life so much on, like, on how to avoid life, really, that I've missed out on so much. Like, I mean, the dependency I had on simple things, like, I even trained my dog how to alert me if an alarm went off because I would burn cookies. It sounds insane, but I literally would train my dog. I literally learned how to train my dog on that. It's actually quite tricky, but you basically train a dog how to react to an alarm, and then teach your dog how to come get you when there's an alarm going off, and then you just tie it to the oven, and then she learns to sit there. She's pretty much not very good at that. She's 11. You gotta give her some room credit there. But, like, we don't have to live where every single thing needs to be tagged and bagged and every single thing needs to be warning labeled. I thought it did. I thought that honestly that was my way of living. That was the right way. Jesus went, nope. He said, you don't have to live that way, daughter. And yesterday, I didn't post anything. I posted it on my Facebook and Instagram. So if you're following me on that, definitely look at those. I posted a picture of flowers because they're very soothing for me. I don't know why, But ever since my grandma passed, flowers have become something very meaningful and very spiritually ridden. But I posted a picture of a flower, and then I posted a post about something because someone gave me a word yesterday, and it was like a small word, and it was a personal word for myself, so I'm not going to share it here. But it basically then I was just able to realize that, oh my word, the Lord called me out yesterday and said, you are the daughter of love. How can I be the daughter of love if I'm going, warning, warning, trigger, trigger? Oh, you should have warned me because that's a trigger. I'm not happy about that. Yeah, I'm that kind of person. I'm that kind of pain that annoys you because you didn't trigger warning. I thought everything should be trigger warning. Now, certain things I think should be, especially if they're very graphic, because there are people who are going to have strong reactions. But life does not need to be labeled consistently trigger warning. It might help us in the short run, but it's not going to help us in the long run. Instead, maybe we need to take that trigger warning and make it an opportunity for faith, for growth, for love. I want to be a daughter of love. Jesus called me out yesterday as a daughter of love. I love to be joyful, yes. But he said that specifically, daughter of love. And I want to learn how to love the kingdom. I want to learn how to be a kingdom shower of love. And I did not show that very well. This young man was in a bad situation and he needed love and prayer at that moment. Instead, I was so stuck in myself, I couldn't offer him a single comforting word except for be blessed. And he was more concerned about me in that moment because my facial expressions and my reaction, which shouldn't have even occurred, that did occur, he was more concerned about me than his situation. That is wrong when the kingdom child cannot get her act together and serve the kingdom and instead is reacting instead of, the word just on my mind. But instead of me reacting, I need to be proactive. I need to be out there and serving and loving this kingdom. And I got to start putting myself over there in that corner and saying, triggers, go to that corner. Be gone. Actually, I saw this really cool image in my spiritual eye through that. But Jesus basically, he didn't really get a broom, but I kind of felt like a broom, and he kind of his hands, and he was just going, shove, to all those triggers. And then, like, those little, weird little creatures. I don't know. Kind of like when you watch that one commercial with, like, germs, those little spiky things. Yeah, that's what they kind of look like. Just little ugly little spiky things. And God was going, shoo, shoo. It's kind of a really cool image. And that was what he was doing. He was like, I'm clearing out that room of your triggers. I'm clearing out that space. And you know what he did? He pulled up a chair and sat down and said, it's mine. In so short of words. But, he was basically saying, this space is mine. This space is for me to work through and that. And he keeps telling me, ever since that word from baptism, about the fact of Jesus is clearing out my room. He's cleaning out my space. It's a sacred space for him and him alone. Not for triggers. Not for sin. Not for weird thoughts or evil thoughts or sinful thoughts or whatever thoughts, Not for any of that stuff. But for him. And he is making it clear to me over and over that space is his and I need to stop putting things in there that don't belong. He's like that person that whenever you drag something back in and that person just picks it up and looks at it and just like, nope, we don't need it, chucks it. So as much as I keep bringing in, Jesus is like, nope, we don't need that, chuck it. I'm sure there's a whole big garbage pile outside my window right now in that room. But I need that, I need a good father, a good beloved lover like Jesus to go do that and clean my house out. I need a good cleaning. And I'm cleaning my room out currently. It is pretty well empty. Short of a few things I'm going to bring with me. I packed today and everything. But it's just so exciting because this is such a strong representation and symbolism of not only is this room being cleaned out, not only is this room being packed up, but that room, the Lord has got like that high in boxes probably. In the sense of, you don't need this, daughter. Goodbye. So let him clean your room. Let him clean out that space. Let him take everything, put it back where it goes. The stuff that you pulled out, you probably didn't need, he's going to chuck it. The stuff that you've put in boxes, Jesus is going to be like, okay, you need this on the shelf, daughter. You need this on the shelf. Oh my goodness, where did this come from? How long has this been in a box? Put it on a shelf. Compassion, kindness. Think about those things you packed away. Think about what anxiety and depression and mental health illnesses has made you forget and lose track of. When was the last time I did research? When was the last time I fell in love with facts or geography or history or patterns and numbers? Like, when was the last time I was passionate and involved in those kind of things, you know? And it's so true. Like, I forgot about those. And Jesus is in there opening those boxes out, and like, that belongs on that shelf, and that belongs on that shelf. And daughter, why did you lose track of this? And the rest of the stuff, he's like, oh my goodness, daughter, get rid of it. He is cleaning my house, and I am loving it. And you guys might need a clean house too. So, you don't have to live in trauma. Trauma is not okay. You do not have to live in triggers. If someone tells you you don't need to live in triggers, and that it's ridiculous to live in triggers, they are correct. You may fight them in that moment. You may think they're crazy. You may feel frustrated. That's okay. They're speaking for the kingdom, and they're speaking for your heart. And that's what counts. Because you need those kind of people to push you. No matter how angry and frustrated you get, and like, why don't you see it? Why don't you understand? You know, those people are right there saying, Jesus is telling me this. Get rid of it. So, I can't promise that I'm going to be magically trigger-free, but I can work on a process. And I don't know how to exactly replace them. What do I do in an instance? An instance where you're just so overwhelmed that you just drop to the ground to a point? How do I react? How do I be proactive in that? I don't know. Pray my way through? Call it off? I don't know. It's still a process. It's still a thought. But right now I'm really excited. I'm also really hyper. You can't tell. But we'll see what Jesus has, you know? I'm so excited to share this journey with you guys. Like, it's so, so amazing. Like, you have no idea the awesome things that the Lord is speaking to my heart and wants me to share with you guys. And right now, maybe there's 1 or 2 people watching this. That's okay. This is going to take off, and it's going to become a platform of itself. And I don't know how, I don't know when, but Jesus has already told me it's going to reach nations. And so a few words. At least maybe something of this sort, you know? That there's going to be people that are going to be reached, and there are people that are going to be touched, and there are people that are going to be transformed. And whether it's through these videos, whether it's through my posts, whether it's through my pictures, my paintings, whatever it is, Jesus is going to use these messages of truth and life and encouragement and love for his greater kingdom. So elevate yourself. Get ready to be elevated. We are kingdom children in the kingdom. And we are going to be elevated so high we won't be able to look down and be like, I have no clue where that was. Our elevator keeps climbing up. It's not stopping at the second floor, the third floor, the fourth floor. Nope, it's going. This is the biggest skyscraper you've ever seen in your life. We're going up, friends, family, and world. So be prepared. We're going to be elevated. We're going to be so awesomely in love with the Lord. All right. Well, I'm going to let you go before my phone battery dies. But I wish you guys a wonderful night. Be blessed. Be encouraged. Be loved. And get out of those trigger trauma places. Get out of those. Shove those out of the house. Let Jesus rearrange it for his goodness. All right, world. Love you. Have a great night. Virtual hugs. Bye.